Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. Why do we so often experience this deep, frustrating internal conflict when our perceptions clash with reality? It's a friction we literally all deal with every single day. In This Explainer, we're going to break down the actual mechanics of our own minds using a brilliantly simple framework from our source material. We'll explore exactly how we define truth and how getting that definition wrong can completely derail us. Okay, let's dive into this central question. Why do we suffer when our opinions contradict measurable reality? The text we're analyzing makes a really powerful, honestly unflinching claim. A massive amount of human misery actually comes from simply arguing with what is real. We spend so much energy fighting against facts just because they don't align with what we want to be true or what we expected. But to really grasp why we do this, we've got to look at how our brains actually process the world. And that brings us to a kind of uncomfortable realization. Your mind does not experience reality directly. As our source explains, your brain is really just interpreting signals. It's essentially in the dark, guessing, interpreting, filling in the blanks, and basically making up stories based on what it perceives. The huge danger here? We blindly trust these internally generated thoughts as absolute, undeniable facts. We treat our interpretations as unquestionable truth, totally forgetting that they're just a subjective map of the world. They aren't the actual territory itself. To make this incredibly concrete, let's look at a quick comparison. Imagine you're walking toward a glass door. Now, your perception might be that the door is wide open. But the reality, the door is totally closed. If you act on your perception instead of reality, what happens? Well, you walk right into the glass, hurt your nose, and, probably look around to see if anyone saw you do it. This perfectly contrasts the physical pain of ignoring objective truth with our flawed, subjective expectations. When there's a mismatch between reality and our perception of it, we get hurt. Running into reality is kind of like smashing your car into a train. Reality is going to win every single time. The three baseball umpires, lenses of truth. Let's move to and see how this builds, because to categorize the different ways we view reality, the author uses this absolutely fantastic metaphor of three baseball umpires discussing how they call balls and strikes. Each umpire represents a completely distinct definition of truth. So our first umpire steps up to the plate and confidently says, "I call them as they are." This is a super direct, unvarnished approach to the game. He fully believes the pitch is either a ball or a strike, no matter what anyone else thinks. His job is just to report that fact exactly as it exists in the real world. This first umpire perfectly represents objective truth. As the definition outlines, this is truth based completely on facts and evidence that can be proven or disproven through observation and testing. It describes the real world exactly as it is, totally independent of our opinions or desires. It's cause and effect. Think back to that closed glass door we just talked about, or that sharp pain in your foot when you kick a stone. That is objective truth. It's the hard, measurable reality we bump into whether we like it or not. Now, our second umpire takes a slightly different approach. He tells us, "I call them as I see them." Notice the shift here? He's no longer claiming to have this perfect godlike view of reality. Instead, he's filtering the game through his own personal lens. He's openly acknowledging his own unique perspective and interpretation of the pitch. And this umpire embodies subjective truth. This is truth based on your personal experience, your perceptions, your emotions, and your overall worldview. It's your internal picture of things. Now, don't get me wrong, subjective truth is absolutely crucial. It's exactly what helps you create personal meaning in your life. But it varies wildly from person to person. What's subjectively true for you might not be at all true for your neighbor. It's an interpretation of reality, not reality itself. Finally, we get to the third umpire, and wow, he has a radically different philosophy. He boldly claims, "They ain't nothing until I call them." Just think about the immense power in that statement for a second. This umpire believes his very calls literally create the reality on the field for everyone playing the game. This brings us to constructed truth. This is truth based strictly on societal and cultural norms. It's created and then reinforced by the people, institutions, and systems all around us. You can think of it as the cooperative lens of society. What's incredibly important to understand about constructed truth is that it changes over time and it varies wildly from place to place. Things like money, laws, social etiquette, these are all constructed truths. They literally only exist because we collectively agree that they do. Section: Aligning with reality, the core conflict. Now that we've mapped out these three lenses, what actually happens when these truths collide? Look at the friction here. On one side, you have subjective truth, how you see the world. On the other side, objective truth. What is the world? So the crucial point is this. Holding a subjective truth that actively contradicts objective reality is eventually going to cause you suffering. If you deeply, truly believe that you can fly, a subjective truth, and you step off a building, well, objective truth, meaning gravity, is going to win. Confusing your internal view with measurable reality just leads to terrible decision-making and a whole lot of emotional pain. So why do we do this? Why on earth do we cling so tightly to false perceptions? Well, it often boils down to what the author calls egocentric thinking. This is basically the habit of redefining truth so that it comfortably fits your existing worldview. Honestly, it is so much easier for us to deceive ourselves than to accept hard, uncomfortable facts. When reality challenges our identity or our deep desires, our minds just scramble to twist the facts rather than doing the incredibly hard work of actually changing our beliefs. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how we trap ourselves. We rely heavily on these self-deceptions. We tell ourselves, it's true because I believe it, or it's true because we believe it. Sometimes it's true because I really want to believe it, or even, it's true because I have always believed it, or it's true because it's in my selfish interest. We basically put on these rose-colored glasses, seeing only what we want or need to see. And this compounding absurdity, it traps us in a completely false reality. We become victims of our own thinking errors, reacting to a world that literally doesn't exist. But hey, the core resolution to this conflict is actually really empowering. You don't have to abandon your subjective truth. Your emotions, your search for meaning, your personal interpretations, they are absolutely valid and 100% necessary for a fulfilling human experience. However, they serve you best when they do not contradict objective truth. We can live much better, far more peaceful lives just by ensuring our personal feelings and meanings don't demand that we deny measurable physical reality. You can actually learn to ride the wave of reality rather than just constantly crashing into it. I really want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. Take a look at the situations in your life that are causing you the most stress or pain right now. Are you calling life as it truly is, or just as you want to see it? Which umpire are you being right now? The next time you find yourself deeply frustrated with the world, just pause for a second. Ask yourself if you're fighting against objective truth. Recognizing the difference might just be the key to your peace of mind.